So T1 faced off against HLE this morning. This is always a really fun matchup. The two of the top three teams over in the LCK playing at really high levels right now, especially T1. I think that HLE kind of broke after getting reverse swept by Gen G last split and not actually making it to MSI. Even though this team is obviously really insane still, have really good individual players, they just don't seem quite like the same team they were. Yes, they'll still probably make worlds, and they'll probably still make it out of groups. But I think compared to the other really top tier teams around the world, they're not quite as the same level as teams like T1 and Gen G themselves. T1, on the other hand, I think is playing really, really well right now. The whole summer split so far, they've been in really good form. Especially, I want to say their bot lane has been playing absolutely out of their minds. And it's got me thinking, is it actually possible that T1 can threepeat? They've already made it to 3 straight world championships and won 2 of them. And I'm just thinking, if they continue to play in this form and even improve heading into Worlds, can they actually threepeat? Can they win 3 world championships in a row? Which would obviously be something that we've never seen before in competitive League of Legends. So I think with the way T1 is playing right now, of course they're going to make Worlds. I think it's pretty likely that Gen G at least wins the summer split because they usually have T1's number in the playoffs at least, even though T1 was the team that ended, I think it was like the 25 or 26 game series winning streak. So T1 has the capability of beating Gen G for sure, but usually in the LCK playoffs, Gen G usually has their number. But even still, T1 is of course going to make Worlds. That's not a question really. The question is, can they actually repeat? And I'm starting to think here, nothing's really standing in their way. They're playing at a really high level right now. Obviously, they have the same roster except for Doran up in the top lane, who I will say has been performing very well as of late, especially compared to what we saw him do on HLE last year, and even in earlier splits this year, he really struggled, but he has been playing very well as of late. T1's whole roster really just seems to be locked into me, and if they maintain this form heading into Worlds and throughout the championship, I don't see really any team who can definitively be better or take them down. Of course, Gen G is there. Of course, teams like BLG and Anyone's Legend are going to be there. We'll see what China has to offer in that regard. And then you have teams like G2 and FlyQuest out of the West who always put up a good fight. But I'm sitting here saying T1 is looking this good going into Worlds. There's nothing standing in their way of a three-peat here. And it brings me back to last year around this time, especially in the summer split, when T1 looked absolutely terrible. The last month of the split or so, they looked really, really bad and shaky heading into Worlds. They weren't even supposed to make Worlds. Weren't they the 4th seed out of LCK last year? They almost didn't even make the tournament, and they ended up winning it all out of some crazy turnaround in form. I don't know where it came from. But if they're going into Worlds in this form compared to last year's form, all I'm saying is that Faker and this T1 team always find a way to show up when the moment is biggest. They're probably the most clutch roster we've ever seen. Faker's, of course, the most clutch player we've ever seen play this game. Last year, I was saying they looked like trash heading into Worlds, which they did, and they ended up winning. This year, they look really good heading into Worlds, and they could end up winning it all. You know, of course, that's the excitement of Worlds, is that anything can happen. Teams can get hot at the right time and go on these crazy runs like we saw a couple of years ago with DRX and others. But T1 is looking really, really good right now. I think they look like the best team in the LCK over the past month or so, along with Gen G. And I think that LPL teams especially are very inconsistent in their play. Teams like Anyone's Legend, teams like Top Esports are very, very inconsistent and coin flippy. That region has been that way for a while now. But even still, I think T1 is probably the best team in the world right now, along with Gen G. And again, I'll say it for the 15th time here, that I'm not really seeing a definitive team that you can say is really better than T1 right now and that can consistently and definitively take them down in Worlds. So let me know what you guys think about T1's play currently and whether or not you think they could pull off a three-peat this year at Worlds 2025. Thanks for watching. See you next time.